We're back on Fresh Waves. We're talking with Heather Rogers. She's from 100 Women Who Care here in Stouffville. And there are different chapters of 100 Women Who Care all around the province. Or is it countrywide? Is it?
Yeah, so it's actually international. So it started in the States and came to Canada. Now there's some even in England. And I'm not even sure how much further it's spread from there. So in addition to 100 women who care, there's also 100 men who care.
Yeah, I've heard of
there's
that.
There's 100 men who give a damn, if I can say that on the radio. 100 kids who care. Some people have it as 100 people who care and don't have it, gender specific. So, yeah, lots of organizations out there. So if you don't live in Stouffville, you're still welcome to come to our meeting. But there are also chapters in Markham, York Region, Uxbridge. There's a few around in the vicinity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so can you go and just check out the meeting? Because we did have a caller who asked when your next meeting is, they'd like to go.
Absolutely. So come on over. So our next meeting is actually tonight. So that's Wednesday, October the 17th. Come between 7 and 7:30. Meeting runs from 7:30 till 8:30. Sometimes we feel passionate about our speakers or have more questions and it goes over by a little bit, but that's the general time frame. So it's a good, girls' night out. You get to see friends and connect with people, right? And do some good in the world as well. So come and join us tonight, 7 o'clock, Meadowbrook Golf and Country Club. Come and say hello. If you just want to come and check it out, we're absolutely open to that as well. It is somewhat of a different concept than normal charity giving. So come, visit a meeting. If you like it, join. If you don't like it, thank you for, considering us. And tell your friends if you think it might be a better fit for them.
Okay. And that you can just come sight unseen and just check it out.
Mm-hmm. So you can go to our website, 100womenstouffville.com, and register online ahead of time, or just show up. I've got registration forms there, and just come and see us.
Come and see.
It's really fun.
See.
I made cookies, so there you go.
So someone, I'm just trying to walk them through a meeting. So you come in and you sit down, and 3 people of your group get chosen to present 3. Like, how many charities are presented on a normal basis, and then you have to choose
only
someone
3 every meeting.
We only
present every
those
3. So typically we're around 3, so it's usually not an issue of picking because we have been doing this now for, as I said, this is our 5th year. We're almost done. So, we typically just have 3 that are nominated. Those are the 3 that present, and then the one would be chosen from there.
Okay, and it's silent ballot, so you don't have to raise your hand or something in front of everybody.
It is. So if you're a team, you get 1 ballot as a team. If you're an individual, then you get 1 ballot as an individual. Okay,
now if a charity is looking for funding, would they contact you directly?
Yeah, so they can reach out to me directly. So our email address is Stouffville100, like 100 women at hotmail.com, or they can go on our website and send me a comment through our form there as well, or through our Facebook page where media, here we are.
Social media, here we go.
But we need to find someone that they're connected to in the group that would be able to present on their behalf, right? I facilitate the meeting. I run the group, so I don't present on any charities because I want to remain neutral. Right? I don't vote on any charities. I don't give preferential treatment to any charities. So we just have to find someone in the group. It actually just happened with one member who was scheduled to present in the summer and couldn't because of family situation. But someone reached out to me from a charity, and I said, and then they just happened to mention it at their workplace because they were looking for someone to present. And they said, my wife does that, right? So there's lots of people who are involved in the community, almost 100 of them actually. So they're out there if your charities are looking for people to present on their behalf.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of fun in a way.
It is. So the charity that's coming to present tonight is the Parkview. So they have a new health clinic that they've opened inside Parkview so that seniors don't need to travel for, simple services that they need. So we were able to support Parkview Health Clinic. So there's usually a specific project or something specific that they're looking to do rather than just to support the organization in general.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of charities in the world. I mean, far too many sometimes. Would you, as opposed to having a charity come and hunt you out, would you go on a little hunt and find for a charity yourselves sometimes?
So usually it is the members themselves that are involved in an organization or have recognized a need in our community. And I want them to come from an authentic place where they feel passionate and want to support this organization. And that's why they're bringing it forward.
And it doesn't have to necessarily be an organization that's in Stouffville.
No, but we like to have some connection to Stouffville, right? So for Hope Story is one of the charities that we supported. They are in Africa. But it's people from Stouffville who are going to Africa to provide support services there. We also supported the Stouffville-Agoma Partnership, right, which supports people in Tanzania. And there's another one as well. I'm forgetting the name. Karen Wood presented it for, they do clean drinking water for individuals, and I can't even remember what country it was in at this point. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But, it's people who have some connection to Stouffville, and that's where the root of it is.
And that makes sense because there's a lot of international organizations and world organizations and things. It's nice to bring it close to home, isn't it?
Yeah, because we are supporting people who live in Stouffville who are going to other parts of the world themselves to do good work. So I feel like the connection is still
But they would have to still be with an organization that has a charitable number
so we get tax receipts.
Right.
Exactly.
Would you ever support one that doesn't? That's just really grassroots and...
We don't.
Okay.
And the reason why is part of our commitment to people who join 100 Women Who Care is that they do get tax receipts for their donations.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, that makes sense. That makes good sense. So in this world that we live in right now, where it seems like people just feel obligated to willy-nilly donate everywhere, this seems like a really cool alternative because you do get to see where your dollars go.
And I think that's where, so one of the organizations we donated to is 360 Kids. What they chose to use the money for is helping get girls that have been put into the sex trade out of the sex trade and give them support and rehousing and all those sorts of things. And seeing that person talk and have tears in her eyes and get so emotional about the people that we're able to assist really gives you that personal connection and makes you feel like, okay, it's $100 and it really has made a difference in someone else's life.
Yeah, I can see where that would happen. And when you get a lot of people involved, then those $100 turn into big money. Seriously big money.
So I think we're about $125,000 that we've donated over the past 4.5 years. I guess we are technically at this point.
Wow. And do you have members who have been with you since the very beginning?
I do. Some fantastic members that have been with us since day one. Yeah, which is amazing. And then we've had people, life circumstances change, finances change, which we completely understand, right? It's an open door, right? The door, if you leave, because you need it to, the door's always open to come back if and when you're able to. Right?
Okay.
Same sort of thing. People have moved, right? Those sorts of things. It happens.
Yeah. Well, that happens in all walks of life, doesn't it?
It does.
So it's nice that there's a feeling that you can come and go as you please.
There's no hard feelings.
Okay. So is there a charity that you're thinking of this time? Something that you're really leaning towards?
So the 3 that are coming up tonight are Jennifer Ashley Children's Charity. So they do a Christmas program. So I think it's families under 20 or 25,000 in income that have a severely ill or terminally ill child. They help and provide Christmas baskets for them. Talking Book Library, which I didn't even know we had in Stouffville.
Oh, they've been on my show before.
Oh, have they?
They're wonderful people.
Right. Yeah, such a great concept there. And then the library, because as you know, with an expanded library, we're always in need of more resources and, there's more space and more items needed.
I didn't realize that the library was a charity. I thought it was run by the town.
It is a charity, yeah, and they do give a lot of private funding. So we've actually supported the library in the past, specifically for a seniors program. So I forget the stats exactly, but I think it's about 30% or 40% of the users of the library are seniors, but the number of resources that they had, which were large print or senior friendly, was about 4% of the collection. And if the numbers are wrong, it's totally on me, but it's approximately somewhere in that range. So it was supporting the purchase of more large print books, more books on tape, because, if you're having problems with your eyesight, you're able to listen, and also more support. You'd not believe the number of seniors that feel keen about staying in touch with their family through, using an iPad, using FaceTime, right, and having those resources in the community to train them on how to use this technology to see your grandkids who might not live close by. And that's all done through the library, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's great. And it's nice that you guys are linking into new charities that you didn't know of before.
Yeah, absolutely. You learn something new every single time.
Because even if you don't donate to the Talking Book people, they do reading for people who are visually impaired.
Yes.
And they're always looking for volunteers who are good readers.
Yes, exactly.
And if you didn't know that the charity existed, you may not know that there is a need for a volunteer who just donates a couple of hours a week to just go and read into a recorded sort of a thing. And
I think that's what the benefit is. So for every charity that gets brought up, it may pique someone's interest in the crowd to say, you were at the selected charity, but there's Pamela Anderson, not from Baywatch, but from 100 Women. So she is always collecting feminine supplies and coats and mitts and socks for the charity work that she does, right? So while her charity, when she presented it, didn't win, at least she's getting benefits in other ways by just getting the awareness.
Exactly.
You got it.
That's terrific. Well, we'll take a little break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion about philanthropy and just being one of 100 women who care. You're listening to Fresh Waves here at Whistle FM. I'm your host, Bren Masson, and we'll be back right after this. Stay tuned.
Do you find that mainstream FM radio plays the same classic rock songs over and over, and rarely, with the exception of specialty programs, play backtracks or B-sides from your favorite albums? I hope you can join me, Chuck Roberts, on Friday nights at 9 p.m. for my one-hour show, Classic Backtracks. We'll explore the backtracks or B-sides from classic rock artists from the 60s through the 90s, and play the songs that you don't usually hear on mainstream radio. And hopefully we'll play a hidden gem that brings back some fond musical memories. During my show, I also profile a Canadian rock artist in my Coast to Coast segment, and each week close the program profiling a classic rock artist's contribution to rock music, from bands to solo efforts or collaborations. That's Classic Backtracks on Friday nights at 9 p.m.
Claudio here with KnowledgeFlow.ca. If your family has been the victim of cybercrime, cyberbullying, or malicious privacy abuses, you're not alone. It's happening every day and sometimes carries tragic consequences, as we've seen in recent news. What's the solution? Don't internalize it. If it's an urgent issue, call the police immediately. If, however, you would like professional advice, you can confidentially email report@knowledgeflow.ca and get some ideas for dealing with social media, instant messaging, webcams, hacking, identity breaches, etc. Remember to visit knowledgeflow.ca on Facebook and potentially arrange a seminar for your community center, your school, or your Board of Education.
We're back on Fresh Waves. I'm your host, Bren Masson. We're talking with Heather Rogers of 100 Women Who Care Stouffville, or 100 Stouffvillian Women Who Care, whatever you want to call it. It's an easy thing to remember because it's kind of a nice slogan, 100 people who care. And wouldn't it be nice if there were 5 groups with 100 people who care?
Exactly. Come,
it doesn't have any
join
limits.
us. No, we are unlimited. We don't stop at 100. We keep on going.
Keep on going. Is it possible, because I did have a question before the show, is it possible for someone to join twice a year? If they if they can't commit to the $400, can they join and just go to 2 meetings a year instead of 4?
So what we would typically recommend is that we would either help them find a partner, or that they could find a partner, and then they could go to 4 meetings a year and just do $50 a time.
Okay.
Yeah, because their partner would pay the other half.
Right.
Right?
Okay. So you are basically committing to either finding a partner or you donate $400 a year, not just $100 a year.
Yeah, so $200 a year is basically our minimum, which is $50 a meeting. Whether some partnerships do it that, you pay January, I pay April, and back and forth that way. Other partnerships do it the 50-50, 50-50, 50-50, right? It's however you feel comfortable doing it, but we do have requests for partners. So if there's someone who is interested and didn't have a partner, reach out to me and we can help facilitate that partnership as well.
Okay, so let's tell people, first of all, you have a meeting tonight, which is October
17th, 7 p.m., Meadowbrook Golf and Country Club. Come and join us.
We podcast these shows and we repeat the show on Sunday. So on Sunday, when people are listening, it won't be tonight. It's not Sunday night. It's Wednesday night.
Yep.
So the next meeting will be when?
January. Still working out dates. It's typically the 3rd Wednesday of a month, right? So we're still working out dates with Meadowbrook for next year.
Okay. Yeah. And we have a busy, busy, busy town. So, for example, tonight there's a town hall. There's something with the commerce or something. The Chamber of Commerce is having an event tonight. So Stouffville gets overwhelmed with all these different events. Is it possible to be a no-show but still contribute?
Yes. So I do have some members that say, look, I'm not sure what meetings I can make it to. If I can make it, great. If I can't, no problem. But I'm going to give you the $400 at the start of the year and, spread it out amongst the 4 charities for the year. And then if I can come, I just come and get to listen to the presentations and things like that.
And eat cookies.
And eat cookies.
This is a big part of it,
It really
don't
is.
forget about the cookies, because cookies are a big thing.
They are huge. Love them. I made peanut butter squares, maple fudge, brownies, and butter tart squares.
Yum, yum.
I know.
I might go just for that.
You should.
Worth $100, isn't it?
Right. Baking is delicious. And but then we also have other, members for whatever reason can't make it on a certain night. So you can either send me an e-transfer with the amount or drop off checks at a few different places in town or to my house. And then, do your donation that way.
And then you would get a tax receipt for whatever donation.
You still get a tax receipt.
From the charity that was donated to.
Correct.
Can you vote by proxy?
Yes, you can. So if you're not going to make it and you send somebody else with your check. So if someone, we've had it before where someone's had 6 checks from their friends that can't make it. So I will give them 6 ballots because they've got the proxy vote for those 6 checks when they come to the meeting.
Nice.
So if you want to swing the votes, right? Make sure you get proxy votes from your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it works out really well that way.
So what's the registration process like? It's just your name and phone number, basically?
Yeah. So we need to have your address for sending the charity to send you the tax receipts, your email address so we can send you communications about upcoming meetings and that kind of thing. But it's pretty simple. Yeah.
Pretty simple, but it sounds like it's very effective.
Yes, and that's what it is. So, I'm a mom. I've got 2 kids. I work full time. I'm co-chair of school council at school. Like, I'm involved in a ton of different stuff.
You sound like my life, only you're a little bit behind me.
Right? But I have always, the importance of giving back and the importance of being involved in your community has always been a high priority for me. So this allows me to be involved and know what's going on in the town, make an impact, and I can give the dollars, but I might not be able to give the time at this point, right? So really, if someone wanted to join, it's basically 4 hours a year and $400 a year, or $200 each if you have a partner, right? And that's what you're looking like in terms of commitment. We typically do caroling, like Christmas caroling at Christmas time for Stouffville Creek. So that's fun, but we don't, we are not having events every week or even every month, right? Because our philosophy is what it is, that we're trying to make an impact in a short period of time, because we know, as you mentioned, there's a ton of events in Stouffville this week, right? There was the debate on Monday, the Stouffville-Gilmore Partnership Dinner is on Friday. There's lots going on, and people don't always have the time to add one more thing to their plate, right?
Yep, that's true. So this is a nice way of being able to do it. And if you do have the time, it's a nice social outing.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to end in the hour. Go out for drinks somewhere else.
Exactly.
Afterwards.
Or stay at Meadowbrook or go for dinner at Meadowbrook ahead of time, right? They've got wonderful meals there, and it's a great atmosphere, right, for having a little bit of time out with other women.
Well, it sounds like a really good thing, and I'm really happy that you were able to make it. I mean,
Thanks.
you know, it's kind of the night of, but I think what we can say definitely is that if you're interested, people can email you and just give your email address again.
Yep, Stouffville 100 women WOMEN at hotmail.com.
Okay, and then you can get some information, and there may be an opportunity to go to the next meeting or the one after that.
Sure. You know? Come and check us out. And if you do have children and you're interested in 100 Kids Who Care, so we're meeting on Soccer City on, it'll be Sunday the 20th, I think, whatever the Sunday is coming up.
Okay, and that's
from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So the meeting runs 3 to 4-ish, and then we would have, the soccer field to play in from 4 to 5. So that's Stouffville 100 Kids Who Care this Sunday coming up.
which is the 21st.
21st, good, thank you. You have
So
a
if you're
calendar.
listening on Sunday morning, it's the Sunday afternoon. So get in your car and get your kids and go on over.
Soccer City.
And that's a reasonable amount of money. A
$10.
child can raise $10 fairly easily. It's not like
Exactly.
you're asking them to bust the bank or anything.
No.
And it's also nice to do a little bit of extra chores around the house because your parents will really, really, really appreciate it. Let
We
me
like
tell
it.
you that.
Totally.
So that's just terrific. And if they need more information, they can always get a hold of you. And
Absolutely.
They can always just
We're
join
on
anytime they want.
Facebook. We're on Instagram. We've got a website. Come and find us and join us tonight at 7 o'clock at Meadowbrook for our meeting.
For
100 women who care.
Who care.
Yeah.
Just sounds great. So thank you very much for coming in this morning.
No worries.
We
Thanks
really
for having
do
me.
appreciate it. And do keep us informed about what you guys are doing. One thing that people need to know when they're listening to community radio is community radio offers PSAs for charitable organizations. And that means that you can put together your own 30-second commercial spot for free. All community radio stations do this. Actually, all
great idea.
private radio stations do as well. The difference is that if you were to contact a private station, they would give you your free PSA, but they would put it on at 4 o'clock in the morning when it doesn't usually get very much play. So it's nice to contact a community station like Whistle FM here in Stouffville, where your PSA will get played and get some airtime when people are actually listening to the radio.
That's
And
fantastic.
So it's nice to know for all charities out there that this opportunity exists through community radio. And of course, Whistle FM is a volunteer organization. We're always looking for people to volunteer. So if anyone feels like doing some volunteer hours, we can always use a hand here at Whistle. And we can always use a hand out too. Sounds like a WNED TV commercial, but that's okay because we're all volunteers too. So thanks for tuning in this week. Thanks again for coming in, Heather. I hope everybody
you.
goes out and has a fabulous Fresh Waves kind of a day. Stay safe, stay warm, stay happy. Tune in again next week. Thanks for listening, everyone. You've been listening to Fresh Waves, a Whistle FM production. I'm your host, Brenda Masson, and our technical producer is Jason Rumball. Tune in every Wednesday at 10 a.m. for Fresh Waves here on Whistle FM, 102.9 on the FM dial and whistlefm.com anywhere in the world. Fresh Waves is available on podcast too. Just go to whistlefm.ca or freshwaves.ca. We podcast all of the Fresh Waves shows so that you can listen at your leisure. Fresh Waves. It really is fresh.